We live and work in a culturescape, and the vast majority of society is run by certain models of reality, which means that most of society goes through life on autopilot, based on beliefs that were passed on through past generations and that are rarely questioned out of convenience. Just as computers need regular upgrades, we human beings also need to upgrade our internal softwares in order to collectively challenge the architecture profession and break through the lies that we've been telling ourselves, such as architecture is only about designing buildings, or that the degree, portfolio, interview, job route is the only way to get into the architecture industry. And in order to prepare for this new shift and navigate upcoming future challenges, we need to rewire our brain for creativity. Hi, my name is Annette Hemmings, and this is what architecture school does not teach you. Now, as you might have heard in my last episode on finding your tribe, I talked about how I joined a committee in order to connect to other people. And not that I just become a member, but I started to actively engage in activities, so do a lot of extracurricular stuff, do volunteering. I wanted to learn as much as possible next to my studio, and the truth is that within the first few weeks already, my mind opened up completely. That's because of the exposure to so many different subjects related to architecture, such as event management, layouting, exhibition design. And from then on, my goal was to stretch myself as much as possible, personally as well as professionally. New experiences have ever since been my fuel and growth my fire. Now, when I talk about stretching myself as much as possible, I'm not talking about any physical exercise, but I'm referring to the human brain and its incredible capacity to expand and change. It's called neuroplasticity. The goal is to change and create existing and new pathways in order to think sharper, learn faster, enhance creativity, and ultimately increase brain power. So creativity is really no coincidence. You can actually train it. Why would we want to do that? For 3 reasons. Firstly, the architecture profession is facing major challenges, whether you feel it or not. The construction industry is, next to the transportation sector, the biggest cause of global warming. And the 21st century is an era of major revolution, so the way we live, work and use our natural resources is changing quite drastically, and that requires to think differently. Secondly, artificial intelligence is taking over our industry and will not so far in the future take over many of the architect's tasks, such as organization, construction, management, AutoCAD drawing, basically all the crappy stuff. No, joke aside, but basically what will be left over are more the human-driven tasks and the artistic side of the profession. And thirdly, we're steering towards a multi- and interdisciplinary future, which means that the boundaries between architecture and other subjects are blurring more and more. So that requires connecting unseemingly related subjects and connecting seemingly unrelated subjects in an efficient way and improving existing systems innovatively. Now, how can we rewire our brain for creativity? It's really easy. All you need to do is to turn off your autopilot and mix it up. Mix up your routine and do things that are new to you. So what you could do, for example, is do familiar things in an unfamiliar way, For example, eating your meal with your non-dominant hand, or taking a different route to the faculty. That's what I did many times. I would just take many different random routes around and through the forest, just so it's something new to my brain. Or turn off your multitasking and really try and focus on one task at once. Train your brain to focus on one thing at once, Or if you, for example, give a presentation about housing on Mars, maybe give it in an astronaut's costume, or go to the faculty in your pajamas. I mean, it will make you uncomfortable, but that's the point, that's the point. Or take on a project about a subject you hardly know anything about, you know. Expand your comfort zone. Inform yourself, you know, read a lot. Read about things that you don't know anything about, and then try and connect the dots. Of course, meditate is one of the most important tips that I can pass on to you. And singing. Singing is the greatest brain training ever. And you have absolutely no excuse here, because everybody has a voice, which means that everybody can sing. Now, what does an upgraded brain actually look like? And what is it about a building or an installation that elicits a sense of awe and admiration? Is it just the thrill of being shown something new? Or is it the way it makes us feel? Or is it something that the architect senses and feels that others just don't? Now, when you mix up your routine, you develop a certain openness towards thinking about things differently and doing things differently. That will cause you to take more risks, be more resilient towards setbacks, and it will make you see opportunities where others just see a blank space or a void. When others tell you it's impossible, you will say possible. And it will make you more able to connect unseemingly related subjects, and will help you synthesize opposite ideas, and it will help you see the world through the eyes of a child. Open, curious, questioning, non-conforming. You, I, us. We are the future of architecture, and the biggest problems in this world cannot be solved by money, but only by us, by our design and architecture thinking. When enough architects challenge the rules and adopt new models of reality, we can collectively rethink what architecture means to us and how it can touch and shape people's lives. The future belongs to free thinking, rule bending, and problem solving social radicals that are not afraid to challenge the status quo and take architecture to places it's never been before. Now, let me know in the comments below what you will do differently today than yesterday. Doesn't have to be a grand gesture, but just one thing that you will mix up your routine with. For more tips, tricks, and lessons, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube, my Twitter, and of course my Instagram at WASDNTY. And see you next time.